Well, I'm Linda Plant, and I'm an interviewer on The Apprentice. Many people may know me through that avenue. And I'm here today to talk about Genie's beanie hats. Talk about, help promote, because not only are they great hats, but it's also for a fantastic cause. Genie herself is a cancer sufferer, so the cause is going towards cancer, and happy to help any way I can.
Absolutely amazing. First of all, it's a little bit frightening because I always like watching The Apprentice and things like that, and she is such a sharp lady, so definitely a little bit scary. But no, once we actually spoke on WhatsApp or email, it was lovely, it was easy and lovely, and yeah, I'm very grateful.
Part of the reason I was quite interested in these hats, obviously the charity side, but I started my career journey in the fashion business, importing and designing ladies' knitwear, and that was a very big part of my career, and I took it from a market stall to the stock market. And what was interesting for me is these hats are made of bamboo, and if people would look at them and feel them, they'd say, what? But during my years in the fashion business, there was a lot of quotas put onto certain categories of sweaters coming in from the Far East. That's no longer applicable. And therefore, if we could use a yarn that was made of bamboo, which we called rammy cotton, which feels very soft like this, it was quota free. So we used to make a lot of garments with bamboo, but we never told the customer it was bamboo. We just gave it a name of rammy cotton. Amazing. So it's quite interesting for me to see that all this time it's still being used, and it's sturdy and it's soft and it has a lot of really nice qualities. So it's very good for Genie's hats.
When I was diagnosed as terminally ill and I left my job that I was at, we started it just before the COVID hit, the first kind of lockdown, but there was an awful lot to do because I don't know anything about fashion, so or where to get things, where to source things, so it was a time for me to kind of concentrate on something else rather than my illness, and concentrate on doing something good for everybody else and making good of something. So I learned about different colours, like putting different colours inside the colour. So this isn't just a pink, it's got like a little orange and a little fleck in it, and it's made especially for people that have got kind of pale faces as well. So there was all of them have got the same sort of pigment inside the colours.
They've got a sort of little
they've
fleck,
got something. So
they? Melange, if you melange effect.
Yeah, you would know. So it's not pale. So if you have a pale blue and you think, oh, it's going to drain you, actually, if you put a Genie beanie on, you look quite bright. And yeah, I think bamboo's fabulous, and honestly,
it's very sustainable. It'll wash well. It'll wear very well. So yeah, it's a good choice. It's a very good choice of fabric.
Yeah.
Because this item is linked to a charity donation for cancer sufferers, I think there's quite a lot of avenues, really. First of all, what about, because it's an online business, what about reaching out all over the world to cancer charities, cancer organisations who could promote this? I mean, I think there must be lots and lots of those, and you could reach out for promoting this hat. Now, because of online businesses, you can sell everywhere in the world. So I would certainly, that's one avenue. Definitely the cancer research shops, people like that. And also I think that, department stores, it's quite hard today in online businesses, but I think if you actually, you're quite an affable person, you love your product, and you yourself are a cancer sufferer, and showing really the determination and the motivation and the drive to live, and also that gives you the opportunity to sell these. And I think really if you approach some of the big organisations, they might be very happy to help. Why not approach Boohoo? Why not ASOS? Why not these people who have got massive businesses to help you with this?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I think you should, because I think your story, and hopefully maybe if you send this video, your story is a story that people should support and should promote, because first of all, you're selling an item that is very nice, it's very wearable. Second of all, it's part of the profit is going to charity, and that's always a good thing. So I think these big organisations should do their best to help you. And even if you wrote, I don't know, but you could write to the BBC, you could write to ITV, perhaps someone like Lorraine could have you on her show, and just any way to promote this, because I think it's unusual where a terminally ill person wants to get into business, is really thinking about life and not death, and how you can carry on and how you can promote this business, and that's very admirable. How many people do that? So she's special, and that should be looked at. And I'm very happy to come on to anything with you, to help you and talk like I'm talking now.
That's lovely.
So you've got my support.
Thank you so much. I mean, it occurred to me, from my cancer journey started in 2004.
So
it's a very long time ago. Living in my life. So my youngest is now going off to university, was 18 months old. I think something like that. Yeah. And there was nothing for me. There was nothing. I'm one of those ladies. Some ladies have got lovely, small, delicate heads, and they look fine, and they can wear whatever head coverings and wigs and things like that. But my type of cancer gave me. I've had hot flushes ever since I started.
What was your initial diagnosis?
It was I can't say the big one. I had it in one side, breast cancer, and I had a lumpectomy. And at the time, I was looked after by a lovely man called Mr. Quirchie at the Royal Marsden, who is sadly no longer with us, but a brilliant surgeon. And he phoned me up one day and he said, I'm going to get you in on Saturday and we're just going to take this out. We're just going to get rid of it. And so he did. I went in on the Saturday, took out a lump and some of the nodes and things like that. And I just took it from there. I mean, I did go through back then, the radiotherapy was a lot more, a lot harsher than it is today. So I had 6 rounds of that, which was grueling. That was about 7 weeks of that. And then I went into some sort of kind of remission, and then it came back again in 2015.
So you were clear for what, 13 years?
Yeah, I was running around, working, doing stuff.
And you didn't have chemo initially?
No, I had chemo straight away from the get-go. Yeah, radiotherapy and chemo.
And where did it return?
Back into the breast again. So it returned back into the breast, and this time it was a much larger amount. But it's funny how, as women, we know what's wrong with our bodies. You can go to a doctor and they can say, no, you're okay, you haven't got it, you're fine, we don't really need to look at you. But I sat there and was stubborn, and I said, I know there's something here, you have to do something and have a look. And in all fairness, the Royal Marsden did that. They got me the help I needed, and we decided to do a double mastectomy. So it was a massive op. It was a DIEP flap reconstruction, which takes the bottom here. So none of this is fake. This is
reconstructed
from somewhere else.
Okay.
But also because I had such heavy radiotherapy, this side will always shrink. So I'll always have that kind of thing going on with this. And then in 2018, I was back here working. I've been here 4 or 5 years then. And in 2018, I was diagnosed as terminally ill. So it spread to my bones and my liver. So. Yeah.
But we're now in 2021, and here you are,
I know.
looking beautiful and selling your hats.
Yeah.
So where there is life, there is hope, and I think where there is determination and faith,
absolutely,
there is hope. And
it all came from a bamboo sock in Osprey as well. Selling bamboo socks in Osprey.
So you are, and I think not only about the hats, which of course is very important, but what a shining example Genie is of people who are diagnosed with cancer, and then maybe diagnosed with terminal cancer, to show how you can have a life, how you can overcome it. You live with it, she's living with it, but she's here today looking beautiful, wanting to sell her hats. So a terminal illness doesn't necessarily mean the end of the road, does it? As we can see.
Definitely
And
not.
every day,
You can.
every day new treatments are coming out.
Oh, it's
You're just being
incredible.
tested now for
I'm
a potential.
I'm waiting, hopefully, Linda, that I'll be able to take this new treatment that's coming out that they're offering me. They've done these varied blood tests, so on Wednesday I go and see my Professor Turner, and they're going to let me know if I can have that.
Well, that's fantastic, because I've got a friend who was diagnosed with inoperable lung cancer probably about 8 years ago now. She had 2 rounds of chemo. The first worked, and then it came back, and then the second worked, and then they managed to put her on a new drug, which she takes every month. Her life is fully normal. She works, she goes on holiday, living a normal life with this immunotherapy that she's having, and life, she's absolutely normal. So that's what I say. There's new drugs.
We're waiting for the med beds as well, aren't we? As well, so these new med beds are supposed to actually cure cancers as well. So I'm looking forward to, if I'm around, which I'm sure I will be, getting on a med bed and doing that, because I will try anything.
Yeah, well,
anything.
I think that's it. The point is, you treat your life. You never give up. It's the same I say in business. People say to me, what's the biggest piece of advice you give to people who are starting? And I say, persevere.
Yeah.
Persevere, because you'll make mistakes, you'll fall down, but get back up again. And really, I think for you, which you have done, persevere in slightly differently, but don't give up on the hope. If you get a knockback, just get back up and keep going. And
it's people like you as well. I sat in my hospital bed, and I was taken in. I've been in hospital for 10 days and had to stop a certain treatment. But I had my little laptop and my iPad, and I just think, oh my God, look, all these people are coming. Linda Plant, all the newspapers and people are going to be covering it, which is wonderful. And I just think I'm learning something new every day. Yeah. And you guys are awesome. So I knew nothing about.
Well, for me, look, for me, it's a pleasure. It's not a task. And if luckily Lord Sugar put me on the Apprentice, which earned me a bit of fame, not necessarily maybe as the nice person I am.
I've changed my mind.
But if that allows me to help and promote and have a bit of influence on people, then I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you very much.
And I think really, I want to watch your journey.
I just love them to get out there for everyone to have them.
I really think you can. You've got to knock on the right doors, and people have got to be understanding and supportive.
And it's so many times you hear about charities. I just have to say, and the charities, and they say it's all about the charity. When it's not all about the charity. So I must say that the Genie Beanies is we give a substantial amount back to the Royal Marsden, and anything that's left over at the moment is going straight into the business.
Yeah.
So it's not actually. I mean, one day it might be a money-making thing and a legacy for me or something. But at this precise moment, it's me doing my thing and keeping me here.
But it's doing a multitude of things, isn't it? First of all, you're laying the foundations of what might be a business, because I think you've got a lot of potential, because you are your USP, your unique selling point. You are, as well as your, of course, the hats, but look, you. And I think that you can build a business, you can leave a legacy, your children will be proud of you. Just, but I look at the facts. You can go forward. Just keep going forward.
Don't stress it and just keep going.
Just keep going forward. Don't stress.
Thank you.
Think positive.